Welcome to Cosmic Comics, Games and Collectibles, your zen of geekism. We carry comics old and new, magazines, toys, games like Pokemon, Magic, D&D. Want Godzilla, Ultraman, Star Trek, Ninja Turtles, Funko Pops? You'll find it all here. Shop our Cosmic Sound Room and pick up a record or two. Enjoy our Comic Coffee Lounge with a cup of Sasquatch coffee or a delicious menu item while geeking out over a super cool movie on our big screen. Come by and say hello to Maui. Cosmic Comic, Games and Collectibles. Superman loves us, and so will you.
Hi everybody, I'm Mike Tiener, the creator and writer of Midnight Highway, Black Jackets, and other comics you never read. I'm here today with Alan Dunford and Will Radford, the creator and writers of Pocus, Hocus. So I guess you guys think that you're pretty famous now. Is that what this is all about?
You know, Mike, Rene Descartes once said, "I think, therefore, I am."
Alan, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Kickstarter campaign you have coming up for Pocus Hocus 2?
Well, first things first, Mike. It's fucking awesome. The fans will not be disappointed. They're actually going to be awestruck. We're going to win the Pulitzer.
Yeah, they don't give out Pulitzers for comic books.
Well, they'll start.
Yeah, we have a few connections.
They'll write us in. But anyway, Mike, this comic book has everything. There's magic, demons, and an adorable pink bunny rabbit named Horse from the Ninth Circle of Hell. You know, something for the kids.
Are there boobs?
Well, what was the consensus on the...
On the boobs?
Yes.
I think we decided that there needs to be more research.
Right, yeah. Well, anyway, look at us. We are clearly professional writers, and these panels just speak for themselves.
Okay, all that's great, but I wanted to ask you a couple questions about some criticisms that you all have received about your work.
Why?
Will raises a good point here. Why?
Well, I just think it might be good for you all to have different points of view and opinions.
But the point Will and I are trying to make here is that some opinions are just wrong.
The criticisms are wrong.
100%.
Well, opinions can't really be wrong. They're opinions.
Will, get the chainsaw.
Way ahead of you.
And good evening, everybody. I am RJ Carter, Senior Managing Editor here at CriticalBlast.com. And tonight, I've not gotten to do a last day kickoff stream before. It's not really a kickoff, is it? What is it, splashdown? I don't know. It's the last day of this campaign. So we're definitely wanting to push this thing as high as we can get it. Anything that happens to this campaign after today is all because of me. That's the way we're going to play it. If you start refunding, I will hunt you down. Don't go refunding if you're already honest. I mean it. I don't need that. But throw cash at it. Don't take it back unless you're going to get a bigger tier. Then that's okay. But right now, we're going to speak with the people behind Pocus Hocus, and trust me, you have to practice saying that a lot to get it to come out. But the magicians behind the legerdemain of Pocus Hocus, Alan and Will are with us tonight. Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
Hello.
Hi there.
Hey, we are so happy to be back, and the fires of hell are behind us.
Yes,
we didn't expect that.
that's beautiful. And RJ, by the way, I really like your bit about the refunds. We've had discussions about what to do in those scenarios before, so I think that
we'll just send the muscle out.
Yeah, we need a muscle, is what we're saying. So
send the demon.
Yeah,
yes,
there you go.
Right, there you go.
But I thought the fires of hell were quite appropriate given the story that we're talking about here.
Oh yeah.
And for those unfamiliar with Pocus Hocus, just imagine if Kit Marlowe's Faust had been written by O. Henry.
Don't spit your coffee.
No, I love that though. That's a really good mashup.
You've got the deal that you worked so hard for, and by the time you get it, you don't need it anymore. But you still got it.
Yeah.
So we're doing something a little different. We're actually going to look at chapter 1 while we're talking about the comic. And while we're before we dig into that, let's just show people that the campaign's here. It's at 5257, 150 backers.
Yeah, and we were talking about this a little bit on the pre-show before we went live. We have we got close to doubling what we did before when we were on with you. I think we had 20 days left, and now we have 24 hours, and we were at like $3,000 and around 70 backers, I think. So obviously, all this success is all just because of you. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. It's all my viewers, all 6 of them. I guess only 3 of them. I'm looking at the eyeball thing here. It's like, what? It's all replay. But no, you guys have got a good looking book out here, a really fun story, and that's what's going to sell it. And we're going to show people just how fun the story is. Now, neither one of you guys is the artist, right? I mean, you guys.
No, you don't want us to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
This would be all stick figures and
that's about it.
Stick figures.
Yeah, stick figures and
look up Matt Fiesel's, or not Matt Fiesel, but look up Cynical Man sometime in the comics.
Okay.
Very successful independent comic book of the late 80s, early 90s, all stick figures.
Nice. Sounds like Happy Noodle Boy and Jonan Vasquez's Johnny the Homicidal Maniac. It's just deranged stick figures. Yeah, but I'm definitely going to check out. That sounds like my type of comic.
Yeah.
So I'm looking into it. I made a note of it. So.
Oh, we had top-notch artists in the late 80s. Back in my day, when we went barefoot in the snow to the comic store, uphill both ways. We had Bean World, where Matt Fiesel literally drew black circles with stick legs on them, and sometimes one of them had a crown on the top. That's how you could tell them apart from each other.
Nice.
Okay.
And it sold. It was like, this is high art.
Yeah.
Ours is close to that, but we'll show it more later.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. Future campaigns, original artwork by William Radford and Alan Dunford.
No, Alan Dunford and William Radford.
Oh, right. I got it backwards.
Always first.
That's right. Yeah. Of course.
There's a chicken and egg joke in there somewhere with a cigarette, but we won't get to that. So is your cover artist the same as your interior artist? That'd be the first thing I'm going to ask.
Yeah, Brian, he's the one that illustrated this cover. And on the campaign, he did cover A and cover D as well.
Okay. I love it when the cover is the same as the interior artist, because it's getting a book that's like, got a J. Scott Campbell cover, and then you get inside and it's like it's like picking up a supermodel in a bar, and then she takes off the makeup.
Yeah. That deception. Yeah. So that's what we did want to do too. We wanted to be as transparent as possible with, if you are judging a book by its cover, this is what you're going to get on the inside, because Jason Smith also did the coloring for Brian's cover as well, and he did our coloring for the comic.
Yeah,
and it looks great inside, folks. And this is your opening. It's very black and white.
Yes.
To describe it, yes.
It's much it's very Wizard of Oz-ish at this point.
Yeah,
actually, yeah. So what we wanted to go for with the opening, we really wanted to just go ahead and capture the mood of what we felt like we were going for with someone that was about to just summon a demon. And we love the fact, and you noticed it whenever we were talking about our first read through. Pocus really embellishes his stories because he's very theatrical, and we'll see that as he's telling the story when it progresses to the next or to page 3. Because what we were really going for here, we were trying to go for that wow factor and that creepy, eerie feeling. We wanted him walking into the woods, and this actually was Dave's idea, our letterer. Because the original one, panel 3 it said, "All right, showtime," but Dave thought it was more effective to have the next page say "showtime" as he's placing the tome down.
Yeah.
On the pentagram. Yeah, and that just comes
absolutely correct.
Yeah.
And this actually reminds me of a whole lot of the opening of Sandman Book 1.
Oh, okay.
Same. I need to read more Sandman.
Well, some at least, yes.
Yeah, some.
It's an awful lot. To get through. Good thing is they're not making any. Well, maybe they are. I don't know. It's been a while. Last I checked, it had been wrapped up.
Yeah, I think at this point they're moving towards various adaptations, is what I'm hearing. Like, it was either a series or a movie that they're working on, I think. And
it's a. Yeah. I don't know if it's Amazon or Netflix, but
yeah,
I'm kind of hoping it's Netflix because that's what I have. So
well,
I'll watch it there.
And the better of the two, I think, in my opinion. So for originals,
for originals, definitely. Although I really want to see The Boys, and the thing about Amazon is, they know they've got you by the short hairs with their originals, so you keep looking at Amazon saying, "Where's the DVD and the Blu-ray?" Well, we don't have it, but we have it right here. Why don't you just watch it right here? Watch it right here. Yeah,
that's a good point. Actually, I never really realized that with Amazon, but that's true. Yeah.
So here's where we start seeing our first burst of color too, and this is what really makes it stand out because the color is alien to the background, and it's an alien language unless it's written backwards in Cyrillic, in which case I'm going to. You're not insulting any editors at another company with this, are you?
No. We told Dave that. Well, I guess Dave actually kind of took a liberty on this one.
Yeah.
He just put in just what he felt like would be good writing, and we just let him go.
Yeah, very rune-like.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was gonna say it looks Lovecraftian.
Yeah. That's interesting.
Yeah.
And then Fiat Lux right here. Let there be some light and color and everything, and your world's a lot more colorful when a demon enters.
Yeah. This is true. Yeah.
So we absolutely love.
Stick around.
We love this drastic change because naturally we have a younger Pocus telling the story about how he sold his soul, and then at the bottom text we have whoa, wait, and then we cut to our next one, and it's just an older Pocus just staring frustratingly that he just got interrupted. For telling his story
by a drunk.
Yes.
And your letterer can make it clear that the guy's drunk because of just these little bubbles around the word balloon.
Yeah.
And the irregular shape of it communicates so much. And so he's like, you summoned the demon to the material plane? I'm like, weren't you listening?
Yeah, just we love the simple yes. That was our, that we love the cut and dry humor. So then Will actually came up with the idea for having our exposition being told by Pocus to a drunk.
What I think is cool about it is that it very quickly and directly establishes that sort of self-seriousness and dramatic aspect of Pocus's personality, because you have that in contrast to this guy who's just foolish and drunk and half listening, so it's just like right out of the gate a quick way to like really establish that about him. So
and Pocus still has this air of I'm better than you. If you've ever read the last Starman series with the Shade, there's a lot of I see a lot of the shade in him. He's like,
oh, cool.
Oh, my dear boy.
Yes.
But at the same time, he's kind of just as raggy dressed as everybody else there.
Yeah. That's his. I feel like, and we talked a little bit about this when he's not on stage. There's he kind of wants to blend in, and and maybe not be recognized.
But then there's this part of him that always still wants to be recognized.
He's very theatrical and dramatic, but I think without saying too much about this, he doesn't want to be recognized for magic.
Yeah,
that's the thing that gets him like that. That's where he has trouble with the fame and the fortune and the recognition. Yeah.
He's kind of like a vagabond prince here.
Yeah.
And so, if I may continue,
Oh.
And we stay black and white. The only color we see is when the demon's involved right now.
Yeah. So, and that's something that we were really wanting to try to hone in. And Dave, good design on the lettering, because having the lettering in color really shows that the demon has magical properties still, even when he's talking. And we wanted to keep the demon in the shadows as much as possible because we still wanted to give that horror sense of the unknown for what Pocus is actually dealing with.
Yes.
Even though we still have the silly elements with some of the dialogue that we're about to see, we still really we're a comedy horror series, and we're trying to really marry those two together as good as we can and give them both equal representation.
And the color contrast is perfect here. You've got a solid black word balloon with that neon violet lettering.
Yeah.
You just know that this demon speaks, and CNN goes, "Why didn't we hire him?"
I love that. Yeah.
We'll put that as a blurb on our next one.
Yeah.
Obviously, a much younger Pocus here. He's got the little soul thing going on, soul patch.
Soul patch.
Yeah. And he's saying, "Hey, I know you guys love to make deals and how much you love souls, and I got both."
Yeah. So we like that the Pocus really direct with the demon in this.
Yeah.
Because we thought about it, and in our initial writing phase, we were really trying to decide how we wanted and how much time we wanted to spend on this. Because realistically, this whole part right here, the summoning ritual, could have been its whole comic if we really wanted it to.
Yeah.
But we wanted to go ahead and be more direct. We wanted Pocus to already know everything that's going on, and so we can really progress our story. There's a lot of stories out there, obviously, where you as a reader, audience member, you see someone making a deal with a demon, and you're like, okay, well, we kind of know what's going to happen. It's kind of like every time they reboot Spider-Man. We all know Uncle Ben's going to die, So just progress the story. We know how you get your powers, So that's why we really wanted to give both these characters as much representation with this scene, because this is really what our whole focus is on. Is Pocus selling his soul, but we also really wanted to start progressing the story so we can really start sinking our teeth into this world.
I've always wondered what would happen if somebody did the whole summoning ritual, called up the devil, says, "Hey, I'm here to sell you my soul," and he just like, "What's your name?"
Yeah.
I guess I could pencil you in.
Why would I buy something I already own?
Yeah. Nice. Yeah.
But that's what he's selling his soul for actual demonic powers, which is sort of tantamount to Jafar saying, "I want to be an all-powerful genie."
Itty bitty living space.
Yeah.
So that was something too, and this is kind of cool here looking at this, because right here at the very end, he says, "My name isn't mortal; it's Pocus Hocus." This is actually where our preview pages ended on campaign 1.
Yeah.
So everybody, if you saw campaign 1, we're moving into surprise territory.
Yay!
Yes. Yeah.
So this is kind of for those who haven't really had who didn't get a chance to see issue 1 yet. This is really a cool deep dive into it. So it'll give you some more insight to issue 2.
But I'm not going there yet because I got a question.
Yes.
He said, "My soul for actual demonic powers," and when I say powers, I mean fire, conjuring, levitation. All of it.
Yeah.
All of it.
No, we can't answer your question. Whatever you're about to ask, no.
Can he buy someone else's soul?
We are not going into any more territory with you on this.
Yeah, just mum's the word on that.
Yeah.
Just for the sake of,
Because I'm thinking, genie, little living spaces. One comes with the other. Demon
Yeah.
buying souls.
Yeah. That's interesting observation.
Yes, curiouser and curiouser.
And I love how it takes a second for the demon's so used to how this is transacted.
Yeah.
My name isn't mortal, it's Pocus Hocus. And he's like, selling your soul will require. Wait a second. Did you say your name was Pocus Hocus?
And then we loved just the simple, I did.
Yeah.
And,
Yeah.
And I thought Houdini was a dumb name.
So what we were trying to do with this, with that little back and forth between them, whenever he said, I thought Houdini was a dumb name, we were kind of laughing to ourselves because we were like, what if Houdini sold his soul? What if Houdini sold his soul to this demon?
Right.
And we just thought that was just kind of a funny little quip to put in there.
Yeah.
What if he did sell his soul and the whole reason why he was searching for people who could communicate to the other side all his life was to find someone who could get this demon back?
Yeah.
What if the last soul he that was sold was Houdini's? So it's like Houdini, okay, that's kind of a stupid name, but I'm going through the whole spiel, and then it's like Pocus Hook. Oh, come on, you got to be kidding!
Yeah, not another one.
Yeah, that's
not another magician with a crappy name.
What's next? Chris Angel? I mean, come on.
And of course, this story, everything about it says Houdini's not born yet. Mm-hmm. So it kind of throws you into that whole time is different in the other realm.
Right. Precisely.
Yeah, that's those have been in conversations we've had too about just the different worlds.
Because
the world of the demon and the world of Pocus, and that there's no the linear time. Linear timeline is a little bit fractured there, I guess.
And that was something too. Will was really adamant for this whenever we first started. Was what are our rules whenever we're creating this world? Because we really, we don't want to fly by the seat of our pants whenever you're writing something like this, because we want to give the reader as good of a linear story as possible, which helps us write as good as we possibly can, which is questionable. But as you're about to read, we wrote a character named Pocus Hocus. So
yeah.
Now, but his father's last name was Hocus, and he was a magician.
Yep. Yeah. As we're about to see coming up.
So it's his father's fault.
It's always the dad's fault.
I like to think that his dad was the type of guy who didn't like to waste time on such frivolous things as baby names.
Yeah, he's just Pocus. Sure.
So he's just he was like, what do I name this? Hocus Pocus? Just Pocus. It's Pocus. That's how the name came out. So,
and even as I mentioned, you've really got to. By now, you guys can probably say it without problem, without even thinking.
I can't say Hocus Pocus.
That's
correctly.
Exactly what I was going to say. That's I'll be trying to talk about the film Hocus Pocus with from the 90s, and it comes out Pocus Hocus now because we're just so used to saying it this way.
Yourself. Yes.
Yeah.
So I try to abbreviate it. It's just Pocus as much as possible, but it doesn't.
Right. Yeah.
Even that's difficult to say in mixed company because somebody might take you up on it.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're here for lowbrow humor, everybody.
So even the demon's got to think about it. He's like, he's trying to intone the proper response stuff. He says, do you Hocus Pocus Pocus Ho? Do you mortal?
Yeah.
To consign your soul to eternal damnation in exchange for unlimited power, knowing that you'll be mine for all eternity. And here's where Pocus goes away from the whole I did, I shall. He's like, yeah.
Yeah. This is where we really get his whenever he wants something, he wants something.
Yeah, and he doesn't really think it through.
Can we just skip through to the I do? Yeah.
Yeah.
So this was a joke that we wrote pretty early on where he said, yeah, I know what's going to happen. Give me the damned contract. And then our contract is literally called
The Damned
Contract because we're so funny. Ha ha ha.
This is the contract for the damned.
Yeah.
So it makes perfect sense. I do like the sign here. This part here is for me to initial.
Yeah,
because it's a contract.
It's still
I think I told you guys the story about the lawyer wanting to sign a contract with the devil last time.
yeah,
Yes.
yes, you did.
And then I will not repeat it. Go back and watch the other show.
well, I mean, it's like we also thought it was hilarious, the notion of like, even though it's hell and all of this supernatural stuff, it's still bureaucratic. Like there's still like, you can't escape that bureaucratic, process of things, even in the afterlife. It's just hilarious to me.
I do. There was a story. Ira Bloom wrote it.
Uh-huh.
And it's a beautiful little short story involving a demon and it's not a short story. It's a short story in a much larger novel.
Okay.
Involving a demon and a contract and a girl signing it to help her sisters and blah blah blah. And she's got a familiar because she is a witch, as are her sisters. So she's signing the contract, and at some point, I forget how it happens, but it's like she spills pepper, or she smashes a fly or something. Anyway, whatever she does, the demon takes the contract that he wrote, says, "It's all mine now," and he takes it downstairs, and she's like, okay, and smiling. And he gets downstairs, and they're unraveling. Says, "You wrote this contract?" "Yes." "You idiot!" Because whatever happened, put a comma in just the right place to make it look like and read legally as though there was a choice, this or that, rather than all together.
Oh, nice. Okay. Yeah.
And she had her out.
Yeah.
So much for the airtight contract.
Right. That's fun. I'd like to check that story. The novel and the story.
Hearts and Other Body Parts.
Okay.
Oh, that's actually a really cool name.
That is. I'm writing that.
Well, yeah. I mean, it's three witches in a public high school, and I mean, it's not played for like Monster High kind of thing. It's really done like it's public high school, and nobody really knows they're witches except the people who do.
Right.
And witches have to study. It's a science. It's not like, say this incantation. It's like, we need all the ingredients of this and that. And then one of the students, one of the new students is really, really big, and he's been put together. He's got some scars.
Okay.
But he's very, very nice. Yeah.
Monster.
Yeah.
And they're all kind of worried about the goth kid who moved in.
Okay. Yeah. That sounds fun.
It is a lot of fun. I can't wait for Ira to do another. He did a story for us. By the way, we publish books. Yeah, we've done this.
Okay.
We did Gods and Services, and he brought Schicker, his Yiddish lawyer demon, over and did a story for Gods and Services. And wow, what a segue point to mention here that we are now having an open call for stories for our next anthology, The Devil You Know Better. The first anthology came out last April, The Devil You Know, was very successful from my point of view. We had 20 great stories in it from known and new voices. So, head over to Critical Blast, scroll down to the publishing link, read the specs, and send in your stories for submissions to see if we can get you in The Devil You Know Better. Reading period is open now.
Nice.
What a perfect show to have that segue on.
I know, right?
Because it's all stories about people running into the devil.
Yeah. Very, and makes the background even that much more appropriate. Yeah.
Yes. That's why I'm using it. He gets a copy for his records. It's eternally binding. Only way it can be broken is through divine intervention, or in the which rarely happens because God doesn't do anything.
Yes.
Let's face it. If he did stuff, he'd be like, "Stop buying souls."
Yeah.
And I love this part. This is with the Rumpelstiltskinian
Yes.
section here. Or in the event that you would guess my name. It's like, what a whimsical clause to put in a contract.
Right. Yeah. Somewhere in hell, they're like. Somewhere in hell, they're looking over everything, and they're like, "Do we still do this?" Like that's.
Yeah, and that's the thing. We really wanted there to be stakes involved, because even though Pocus is selling his soul, demons still love to gamble, and it's a gamble. Will he guess my name? Will there be divine intervention?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
unless you can guess the number I'm thinking of between 1 and 7.
Yeah, I'm holding a number behind my back. Right.
What hand am I holding the ball in?
So, and then that was this leads to our next little favorite joke. No, this one's for the auditor.
Yeah.
And that kind of goes with Will's
bureaucracy thing.
And so now the next page here was actually, I think this, out of all the pages we have for issue 1 and 2, this might be my top 3 favorite pages.
Yeah.
This is gorgeous. You can see the outline of the
Yeah,
soul.
the after image leaving.
Yeah.
We just absolutely love that.
And all this chartreuse lighting.
Yeah. Fun fact, green is my favorite color also. So
He was a huge fan of these pages.
yes, I was. Yes.
And you know, it's not just there's several gradients going on here to make this look like light coming off the page.
Yep.
Your colorist, we're looking at black, white, and green, and your colorist did a hell of a job on this.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, Jason knocked that out of the park.
Yeah,
we were
definitely.
blown away when we seen it.
Super eye-catching.
And then we're back to the dull world.
Yeah.
Yeah.
As represented by the black and white. Not that the story gets dull. That's not what I meant.
Yeah, just to be clear, everybody.
So you sold your soul to demons so you could do magic tricks? He's like, no, I sold my soul to a demon so I could do actual magic. If you had been listening, drunk wants what the drunk wants. He wants another drink. And so, God, I love magic.
Yeah.
So it fills the glass up, and it's magical. I don't know what kind of elixir it is, but it's blue, so it's magic has color.
It's blue motorcycle.
So one thing too, whenever we got back to this, we feel like with all good comedy and horror, and whenever we were writing this, we really wanted to have heart. No pun intended. We wanted to have soul to our comic, right?
Oh, sure.
So yeah, we wanted there to be. This really shows why he did it, and our internal conflict now. So this is where we felt like we got. We have a lot of fun. We got to get heavy for a second, and then we can have more fun.
And this is the heavy part where the demon's departing. He's like, not that I care, but what are you going to do now that you got him?
Which is funny. He's like, not that I care, but I'm going to ask anyway, whatever.
And Pocus says, I'm going to use them to impress my father. And the demon's like, okay. Aren't there any better ways of doing that? and that's when we get a look into Hocus's past here.
Flashback.
Yep, Inception.
Yeah, flashback. Ooh, that is a double. That's like what if Neo came out of the Matrix, but he was just in an outer level shell program.
Yeah.
My head, stop.
That must be what the new one's about, right? I mean, it's got to be about something. So
I always thought that's how the first one ended in the first place, and I've totally ignored 2 and 3. They don't exist.
Okay, so yeah, you just live where you are.
That's fine.
And do not go searching anymore.
Right? Yeah, I think that's totally okay.
So and father, there's really no way to put it. Father's a butt.
Yeah. So this is one thing that Brian did really well, because whenever we first see our demon, whenever he actually comes through the portal, he's completely silhouetted, and you just see his eyes, and that's the same thing you see with his father. So we really wanted to try to hone that into, like, now someone else has control of him.
Well, that's very much Mr. Darling, Captain Hook.
Yeah.
And what I mean by that, folks, if you've seen the not just the Disney movie but also the plays, Captain Hook is always played by the same actor who plays the children's father.
Yep. Like in the Mary. What is her last name? The one from like the 50s that was like on VHS. That
Mary Martin.
Mary Martin. Yes. Yeah. That was. And the guy who played Captain Hook and the father of the children, he like rocked it. He was an incredible Captain Hook and very funny. So
that's what I'm seeing here, because there's definitely that parallel between the demon and the father.
Yeah.
And you make a kid cry because he's done a magic trick. What next? We can do this here. 52 pickup.
So it's, and this kind of, we talked about this in other interviews. Will and I try to push each other on what we can get by with our dark humor and what we think's funny. Like we laughed when we wrote this because of just how terrible the father was. All we could do was laugh, and it was one of those. We really just wanted to showcase just how terrible this guy was.
Yeah, it's our I, Tonya moment. He's it's like the mom in that film was terrible, but also had some hilarious dialogue. That's what I say. So
he's the world's greatest magician. He's Dick Hocus.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah.
Appropriate.
Well, appropriate names should always be appropriate, and I think you're doing that here, whether intentional or not. And we're back to the pre-present, where he's like, no, there's not a better way of doing it.
Yeah.
He's like, okay, well, I'm off. Thanks for the soul, hokey pokey. And he's like, it's Pocus Hocus. Have a blessed day and a pleasant tomorrow. You've got a southern demon.
Yeah.
Yep. It's what growing up in West Virginia does.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right.
Supposed to snow this week. Yeah, supposed to snow this week. Dress warm, and I'll see you in hell. So he's like, and the demon's like, rushing back. He's like, all right, double or nothing. Papa's got a fresh soul for the pot. He's like you said, they gamble.
Yeah. So, and that's one thing too we really wanted to showcase here was kind of our rules, right? So we wanted to really show that souls were also a form of currency. And they're a very serious thing that demons want, but then they're just willing to gamble with whatever,
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, what else could they do with the soul other than gamble?
Precisely, yeah.
Are there demon convenience stores where they can get like really good liquor?
Yeah, you get 3 cans of eyes of newt for 1 soul.
Yeah. And then it's like, the candles are out, the ashes are blowing, and he's like, well, time to get famous. And he doesn't even try anything then.
No.
To learn what he can do or how to do it.
So that was something that we were really thinking about too, was do we have like a montage scene of, Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man? I hate to reference Spider-Man again, but, where he's standing on the rooftop and fly, go web, go.
Come on.
Do we have, Pocus standing in a field? Abracadabra, presto, or do we just have him? It's just now it's second nature to him now,
And that kind of makes sense that it would be, demonic power comes, demonic knowledge.
Yeah,
he's got all of it.
Yeah.
Again, going back to the whole that one key phrase you've covered such a multitude of sins with. Well, that's because of he said this in the contract. Becoming famous was easier than he thought. All he had to do was provide a lot of spectacle. You see here, he's levitating. You kind of missed that the first time around. And he's throwing the fireballs. Of course, everybody probably thinks he's doing magic.
Yeah. And then we loved this. This is actually our first appearance of Horace.
Yep.
Hocus's rabbit, Horace.
Yep.
And I think this is a great example of how like the illustrations can positively influence writing going forward, is because this became like a character after we saw these illustrations and just loved this design so much, and we started getting ideas like about the rabbit and what the story was there, and really just became a positive development in the story after seeing these pages and these illustrations.
Now, I'm looking at the different crowd scenes here because I noticed something, and I don't know if I'm supposed to. I don't know if I'm noticing things that aren't there, or I'm noticing something I'm not supposed to notice until later. But you talked about how the demon was in shadows and just the eyes, and the father was in shadow and just the eyes. The guy watching here behind the family getting the bunny rabbit.
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, look, shadows and just the eyes. I mean, if you just a person in the background, I would think the eyes would be colored black, but because the eyes are there, I'm attracted to it. I'm like, who's watching this?
So yeah, and that's kind of the idea of we liked the idea of putting certain things in shadow just with glowing eyes, not so much to represent a demon or demonic nature, but just now a form of control, because now Pocus magic is his life now. So now the audience actually controls him.
Oh.
Yeah. I think it's also interesting just to think, I mean, maybe this wasn't, consciously, intentional, but it's interesting to think that, like, now, if you go back and read this, like, the demon is always around in some way, shape, or form.
Yeah.
So he doesn't completely disappear
Right.
until maybe that's something we did. I mean, you do all kinds of
Things unintentionally. Yeah,
Yeah,
when we go back and reread it,
subconsciously.
we're like, holy crap, we just did that.
Yeah, and Brian illustrating it too.
Yeah.
Maybe that was intentional on his part, and maybe not. I don't know. But
So
that's
then we
really
had a
cool.
ton of fun with this.
Now, this is your typical saw the lady in half,
Mhm.
and or levitation. He's like, why not both?
Yes.
Right. Yeah.
And of
And
course,
this is the first time we actually get to see Pocus's assistant, Emily.
Yeah.
and she doesn't. I can't. What does she do? I mean, what's she distracting from?
Yeah, so and that's the thing that's going to come up later.
Mhm.
So in issue 2, it hasn't been seen yet in the preview pages, but we really start to get to see Pocus's and Emily's relationship, and it's a ton of fun, and we are so excited to bring her to life.
Yeah, she plays a major role in the series, actually. And this is fun because, and I talked to Alan about this, I've always loved it, even like on Netflix shows and series and stuff like that, when you see a character maybe appear in the background or something, and then later on they end up becoming a major player. It's just fun to and helps keep the audience engaged.
And it's a good story progression, too. Instead
Yeah.
of throwing all of our characters at one time in issue 1, we are slowly building up to it. Like, we see Horace the rabbit. We see Emily. Now we can start moving forward and actually piecing them in where they need to be.
Right. Yeah.
And when we go back to the campaign, we're going to see Emily again and let you know that there's a whole lot less to her than meets the eye.
Yeah.
when we get to some of the images there. But he's got fame, he's got the power, but he says, you sold your soul to legions of hell. You can't have both. And here is that reserved sign on his seat, because this is his debut night, I believe.
Yeah, this was our idea for this was he's no longer a street magician. He is now at a sold-out theater.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that was the progression. I mean, you can't just get, the power and book the Orpheum.
Yeah.
So he did the street stuff, did the small stuff, worked his way up to here, reserved the front row seat for his father. Where's Dad? Oh, Thomas and Martha are dead.
Yeah, this is actually a Batman origin story. We're just retelling it.
Yeah.
Exactly. Well, I was going to ask earlier where the mother was, because she's absent, so presumed dead. And that's always like, well, that's why the father's so sullen all the time, because the mother's dead and he's, an asshole now. He probably blames the kid for the mother being killed. I'm just writing your whole backstory. Probably died in delivery.
Well, let's pack it up. We're done here.
Yeah.
RJ,
The maid upstairs is really his surrogate mother, and she's been taking.
You're like, I'm just going off the rails. So this actually, whenever we wrote this, we were cracking up the headstone.
Yes.
Yeah.
So Pocus actually went through with the instructions for the headstone, which read: Richard Hocus, beloved husband, reluctant father, friend, and quote, don't be a hack, son.
Famous last words.
Yeah, father died the night of his first show, which is one of those typical demon-y, twisty things that happen.
Yeah.
So he celebrated accordingly.
Can we talk?
Yeah, this was actually our American Beauty reference.
Yeah. When we wrote the script, we directly mentioned American Beauty in the text, and this is kind of a recreation of that. Although instead of the rose petals, it's liquor bottles. So
yeah, he's imbibed a bit,
right? Yeah.
which you can do when you're full of demonic power.
So, and this page right here is very important to us because it shows Pocus becoming just bored. And in each panel, we show him, he doesn't have to try. This is all just second nature. What's the point? But he has that theatrical quality. But in every panel, you can see we age him. So that's how we get to our modern day Pocus.
Yeah.
And the boredom that comes with that power. I'm trying to become a weeb. So I'm like fresh to One Punch Man.
Okay.
So that's kind of fresh in my head. Again, the same thing. He's the most powerful super being there, and he's bored because nothing is a challenge. Like, punch, you're done. I'm done.
Yep.
I'm going back home.
That's a great concept.
No, One Punch Man's awesome. He just decides to become a hero.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah. So he says there's only one way to escape this tedious, vapid, waking nightmare. Mundane. No, mundane's over here. I didn't say and apparently it's to rip the heads off of poor Horace.
Yeah, so we thought it was funny to have him pulling Horace out of his ear just because,
It's like, how can we top having it,
instead of pulling a rabbit out of a hat.
The hat, yeah. It's like, how does he...
He's just, and Will actually thought of this, just putting a lounge chair on stage just to show that he is not taking any of this seriously anymore, it feels like.
Yeah.
He's going full Gallagher here. He's just throwing up liquor bottles, shooting them over the head.
Instead of watermelons, it's beer bottles. Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to the Pocus Hocus show. Bring the plastic sheets. I have to guess the demon's name, and this brings us to the present.
Yeah. So then we loved just the difference between these two because we have the light. How Jason did that was perfect. It's the light in Pocus's eyes. He's staring up at the ceiling. It's a really sincere moment. I have to guess the demon's name. And then the guy he's talking to is just passed out for an unknown amount of time.
He's bored him to sleep.
Yep.
And my cue to leave, and he flips whatever coin it is, magically appearing. It's hovering.
The idea was the coin was just levitating.
Yeah.
And we absolutely love these two panels.
Yeah, this was when we were writing it, we were like, okay, at this point we want to give the artists some freedom to do something that's kind of moody and atmospheric and really show off that Victorian era, time period.
Yeah. Now I love the wall posters here that have been,
really reminiscent of the time.
Yeah.
Have you you don't have those on here, but for campaign 3, prints of to look like actual performance posters of Pocus Hocus would be cool.
Write that down.
That is a really good idea. I like that.
And I know a guy who did wanted posters for his he did a Confederate Monster, which is the story of Frankenstein, but after it all happened and Igor came to America and it was the Civil War, great time to show up.
Yeah.
But he did it by he made the prints and then he stained them with coffee.
Okay.
Oh, yeah. I've seen
cool.
that done before. That's
really
super cool.
And he's like, it eats away at the edges of the paper a little bit and makes them rough, and it also makes them crinkly and brown.
Yeah.
Them up. So they look like they're 150 years old.
Yeah. So I have the chat pulled up here too. Talk Horror said he can't wait to see this. Well, we can't wait to give you issue 2. And Jay Burns from Triangle of Truth, he's just calling the demon Steve for the time.
Why not?
Yep. And then this is where we finally get our first BAM. We have a giant H for Hocus, so we know that we're entering into Hocus Manor.
Yeah.
It would be funny if the demon's name was something like Bob.
Robert. He's formal.
Yeah. Bob. Yeah, Bob's pretty direct.
And then this, I'll let Will talk about old Ivan here. This was, we collectively decided to have a butler, and this is what Will came up with when cut loose.
Yeah, no, I thought that it would be funny to have like a neurotic, very neurotic, obsessive butler kind of, and
incompetent too.
Yes, definitely, because of his I guess his desire, he tries too hard. And I think that one of the things we talked about was we were thinking along the lines almost of like Dobby from Harry Potter. I think one of the first things we talked about was like, what if he comes home one day, Pocus, and Ivan has like his hands out. And he's like, I burnt the roast. You have to iron my hands to punish me. And Pocus is just like sick to death of it, like has no desire to like hurt this guy.
And so then that's the thing too. We wanted the idea of Ivan to have always been around. We wanted him to be the family butler where he also served Richard as well.
Yeah.
Ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah, so that actually plays into a part in issue 2. Just a little brief spoiler for you guys.
Because Richard Hocus wouldn't have put up with that shit.
Yeah.
which tells me that Ivan was competent and possibly sane at that point. This is a butler who's seen too much.
Yes.
Yeah.
And he's positively afraid of Pocus.
Yeah.
That's why there's no spaces in his word balloon. Master Hocus, so glad you're home. The floors are clean, the beds made, dinner's served.
And the roast is just burnt to ash.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
And Pocus is trying to, stay cool. He's like, I'm fine. It's just Pocus. Master Hocus was my father. And this guy's offering foot massages and back rubs and says, go home. Go home. Like Ferris Bueller at the end of the movie, you're still here. Go home.
Yeah. You're still here? Yeah.
And he's like, go home. And is it just me or are his eyes 2 different colors? I know it's grayscale.
Oh yeah, that's interesting. It's like
I think it's the shadows that happen, but I mean I'm totally down for Ivan having 2 separate eye colors.
He's got wonky
It just
eyes.
adds to it.
Right, yeah.
Yeah, it totally adds to the mania.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we may have written in the script that something was that he had that is crazy eyes or something. I can't remember, but
and he's still offering, Love is Pure, what time should I be here? Can I wait outside?
We thought that was funny. He kept saying, "No, wait outside."
Yeah.
And then
it's just outside in the cold all night.
Yeah. So finally, Pocus just sends him home. Now notice he doesn't teleport him home, which he could.
Yeah. Just shoves him out the door.
Yep.
Just
doesn't want to deal with it. And then we have Ivan just putting his back to the door. This is so amazing. How does he do it?
Yeah.
Because we love having Ivan still naive, even though, he's his personal butler.
He's his number 1 fan.
Yeah. He's still, this guy's magic. He's really magic. and his brain just broke.
Yeah.
So Pocus has got his problem. He's got to figure out the demon's name. And all in good timing, somebody knocks at the door, and it, he's thinking it's Ivan. Maybe he swallowed his key again. God, Ivan, come on.
Get it together.
Get it together, man.
All right. What do you want? Well, guess what? We need to talk. Sure. What's your name?
Right. Not Ivan.
It's definitely not Ivan. And this is that. There's something seriously wrong with this demon because his hands are his hands and legs, are they dripping in blood?
Yes.
As we will see at the beginning of issue 2 when we flip over to the campaign.
Yeah, they are.
then let us now do writers of Hocus Pocus. Yeah. Nicely played there. Which we're going to do right now. Yes, we are now at the campaign. I am extremely disappointed in you, chat. This thing is still at 150 backers. However, thank you for keeping it there.
Yeah, it could be way worse, right?
Right. Yes.
It could be way worse. This is not a PDF anymore. I can't grab it and scroll. I've got to actually wheel the mouse. And by the way, I am a backer. I took care of this afternoon because my phone went off and said, "Hey, back Pocus Hocus today." I'm like, "Okay."
Nice. Thank you. That's awesome. Thanks so much.
I'm not saying that to be thanked. I'm just saying that because
we're going to thank you.
I believe in this story.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, thanks.
Really appreciate that.
We do. Yeah, it means a lot.
I also I ordered the pin too. It's going to go on my hat.
Oh, okay.
Nice, perfect.
Other pins. You've got people here who you've got blurbs.
We got blurbs.
We do. Yeah.
We got the blibes
from like real people.
Yeah.
I don't know any of them, but
Yeah.
But they look legit enough, right?
Yeah. Real people who aren't us. Yeah.
A doctor, for crying out loud. A doctor has given this.
She has given her written consent for you guys to buy and enjoy Pocus Hocus.
It's you can consider it prescribed.
Yeah.
I don't know what kind of a doctor she is, but we'll go with prescription. She could be, a doctor of politics or something. No, let's hope she's a useful doctor. So this is the another 25-page comic. Pocus
It's actually, I think it's 26. I think we may have messed that up. I think.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's 26.
I'm not even. I
So
don't even
surprise, an extra page.
well, I'm pretty sure the book better have 28 pages in it minimum, because you got to do them in sets of 4. Otherwise, you have a page fall out.
Well, we have some stuff planned, so you'll see.
Yeah.
Cool. So here's the preview, and look, I'm going to have to make this bigger because this is on a giant monitor, and I'm still looking at little pictures. Okay, let's stop there because Windows 10 thinks it's an iPhone when you make things too big, and it tries to conform them to the screen. All right, so here we are for chapter 2. What you'll get of it, and this is why you're going to want to get the second book. So he's sitting down. I'm guessing this is the first page here.
Yes, this is literally as soon as you open it up, this is exactly what you're seeing.
All right. So I may or may not have fallen off the wagon. Demons have AA. And now it's Pocus's turn to say, not that it's any of my concern.
Yeah, right. So that was kind of showing the duality between them.
Yeah.
So now Pocus gets to really look at the demon and say, well, no, it's not any of my concern, but care to elaborate. Just like the demon, like we found out about the fall.
Right.
Yeah, so he's like, well, when there are certain financial opportunities arise, there are sacrifices that need to be made. And financial opportunities in hell, the currency being souls. That's still not enough. Lab or 8. Yeah. He's like, I gambled. Well, yeah, you did that as soon as you left.
Yep.
I had a sure hand to win. And I love. He's got a visor.
Yep. Yes. We thought that was really funny to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, he's like looking at his cards. We have no idea what this hand means here. It looks like he's got 3 2s and a 6. He says, I'm all in. Here's all these contracts, all these scrolls, all these souls, I meant to say. Although they are scrolls. Maybe that's why I Freudianly said it. He says, all right, let's see them. And he lays the cards down, read them and weep, genocide. Oh, no, wait. No, that's not her name. That's what he's got. That's the name of his hand.
Yeah, so we thought that was funny to kind of have like our own card game instead of saying, full house, royal flush.
Right.
His hand was a genocide.
It was apocalypse. Yeah, apocalypse.
And then the next one is not so fast. I have an apocalypse.
Yeah.
You're out.
She's beating.
Yep.
And and she says, hey, wait a second. These contracts are blank. So he was playing with Monopoly money.
Yes.
So now everybody's like, we got a Spanish demon. Damn it, I don't read Spanish. Nos quiere ver la cara de idiota.
Perfect.
I can read it, I just can't understand it. He said, yeah, we never should have invited him back. He always tries to do this kind of stuff. And of course, the most important, don't let him get away.
So, and this is something that I really want to give credit to Brian and Jason for. The next page that we have is a 10-panel page. That's a lot.
Yeah.
And we wanted to keep this condensed to one page because we wanted to show how violent and brutal it was while also showing how fast it happened.
Mm.
So we really wanted to capture that. Like there was just this sudden outburst.
Look at all that.
Violence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's good stuff. This is proof, guys, that you can fit more than 3 panels on a page.
Yes, this is true.
Yeah, we gave Brian the freedom. We told him panel 1 through question mark, and then this is what we got. So kudos to him.
Sweet. And then, of course, here he is, triumphant, covered in demon blood. I'm sure they'll get better. They are demons. You're like, you killed all of them. He's like, I have a tendency to overdo it sometimes. So this is a demon with problems.
Yeah, we wanted to make our demon flawed on so many levels.
Yeah.
He needs a therapist. and I think that Pocus has just de facto become that for him.
Jay Burns just said, "What a sore loser the demon is." Yeah.
Oh, he's a demon.
Yeah.
He didn't know when to hold them or fold them.
Right. He knew when to walk away.
Yes, he did.
But he didn't run.
Yeah.
He did not run.
No.
He said, well, if you think you're just going to hide out here, he's like, oh, no. I wouldn't want to be rude. But you are going to help me. Oh, am I now? And why is that? Is Pocus, how long have we been friends? Never? Hateful. That's fine. Look, here's the plan. And hey, look, it's literally the plan.
Yeah.
And everything unscrolls and says the plan. You can't do the same joke twice, guys.
We don't do that.
But to find out what is the plan, you're going to have to start scrolling on the other side here and actually start taking some of these options.
Yes.
Like abracadabra, get physical copies of number 1 and 2 along with the PDFs. $20. $20, 2 physical comics, guys. Yeah. You know what? I just read it out loud for the first time, and it's kind of my favorite part too. Here's, I almost read that in a George Peppard voice. A-team, kids. A-team.
Yeah, and if you wanted to, we can scroll down through the rewards because we actually have all of our tiers with visual representation.
That's better than this thing here.
It just gets clunky sometimes.
Yeah.
The colors in purple. I thought he used to cover in green. Did you guys change the colors? It's magic now.
Yeah.
Magic.
We sold our souls to make it happen.
So I think whenever we did the T-shirt whenever we were on, I don't think we had the final design just yet.
I think you're right. You didn't. So
Yes.
I don't even think this is available anymore.
I think we have one left, maybe.
One Horus Amigurumi.
Amigurumi. I think. I don't know.
It's Italian.
Yeah, it's fragile. Yeah, it's fragile.
It's fragile. But you do have the Horus T-shirts. You got one of these. Somebody can grab it. And this has been updated with the final design. So he's sitting on top of this obviously weird-looking green brick with an eyeball that has motility. It can stretch and look.
So Kit Wallace designed that shirt, and that is the same guy who did cover B for us.
Yeah.
So you can see a lot of the same art and influence on it. We absolutely love the shirt.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the shirt.
Big-eyed bunny.
Yep. Horace.
Does Horace talk? Because he hasn't yet.
He doesn't.
Okay.
Which is unfortunate.
Well, it's kind of like Bunny Rabbit on Captain Kangaroo then. He just kind of gestured and gesticulated and got his message across and then dropped ping pong balls all over the place. But you laugh. You're not old enough to have seen that stuff.
No, but
we know about it.
I know, a little bit about Captain Kangaroo, and that sounded like a funny scenario. So
Bunny Rabbit and Mr. Moose and Grandfather Clock and Kit is amazing, and that has nothing to do with what I was saying. But so this is all the other covers. You've seen the main cover. This is cover B by Kit Wallace. Horus in action, basically.
Yeah.
You got cover C by Mark Mervita. Hope I said that correctly. And then cover D also by Brian Bellondo.
Yep.
So name your poison, boys. And then of course you got the black and white. Wait a second. Okay. Yeah, there's a lot more color here. I was like, black and white version. The whole thing was almost black and white to begin with.
So what we wanted to do with the black and white version, this is more of an art book. We don't have any lettering in the book whatsoever. It is literally Brian's pens and inks that he has sent to us. And we really wanted to pay respect to Brian for the hard work that he's done and the amazing work he's done with bringing this world to life.
Yeah.
So we really wanted to just let it breathe. And even at the top of each page, you'll see his work notes. So you'll see Brian Belando, Pocus, Hocus, issue 2, page 1 of 26, stuff like that.
Is this a little oversized, being an art book, or is it just?
It's the same comic size.
And what about the pen and ink? Is it, because I'm looking at the cover and the cover's got shading on it? Does
Yeah.
it still got the shading?
Some of them have shading. It was just how he sent them to us beforehand. But Brian really wanted to shade that cover, so we just said, "Whatever you want, it's your book."
Jay, you are amazing. Jay has worked some magic here. He has upped his pledge.
Oh, okay.
Wow,
So
thank
that
you.
he can choose his cover, and he just had a hard time choosing them all, so all the covers look great. Yes, they do all look great. So
Yeah,
You know what? We think so too.
yeah.
you know what you actually, no, you don't. I was going to say what you do in situations like this when you can't pick out a cover is you release all the covers as additional prints, and then you can pick your cover and buy all the prints at a lesser, cost or the same cost, but you get them all 4. And now you can just look at them whenever you want on the wall. And you can still have them.
It'd be like, "Oh, look at this perfect comic book and it's perfect print."
You can get the Pocus Hocus enamel pin,
Mhm.
and it will glow in the dark, and everyone will point to it and say, "That's a misprint."
Yeah, it's supposed to say Hocus Pocus. You crazy?
At which point, you can say, "Oh, but let me tell you why it's not," and then word of mouth begins.
Yeah.
But here's the thing, because this is crowdfunding. So once your book has cleared the crowdfunding phase, where does it go from here? So that these people who are wearing the things after the Kickstarter are advertising a thing that people can still get. But
Yeah. So that was something Will and I have talked about. We're working with Bad Bug right now to put together an online store. But honestly, one of the best ways to do that is to reach us at pocushocuscomic@gmail.com.
Yeah.
And if you are wanting something, PayPal is a fantastic way for us to be able to do transactions, and then we can go ahead and mail you a copy. So it will kind of work as our own personal store for the time being.
Right.
That will work for the time being, but you've definitely got to do something to get distribution.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, that is something that we are definitely working on.
That's in the works.
Yeah.
Yeah, because this, even if it's like with a mass market cover and newsprint pages, it's got to get into stores because as Jay has said, people are going to be talking about this comic. It's going to be big, and I completely agree. I think I put my money behind it, and I buy books that I like. So
The fool you are, RJ.
that's why I'm parted from it. Now we talked about Emily a little bit when we read through issue 1, and I said that there was less to her than meets the eye, and here it is. There's more to her than there is to Heidi Hyde, which, for those who don't know the reference, and Vaughn, you owe me another beer. Von Klaus's book Monster MD. He's a doctor who treats monsters. And you get a silver bullet lodged in you. He's the guy who takes it out. Heidi Hyde is his nurse. Heidi Hyde is wrapped all in bandages because she's completely invisible. So.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So kind of like the Invisible Man.
Yeah.
But every time she's wrapped in bandages, they're skin tight. She puts on lipstick and sunglasses, and yeah. Heidi Hyde's not a hoe, but
Heidi.
She's pinup material. In fact, they did like a half naked Hyde pinup, and it was just like the stockings were on and the sunglasses were on and the gloves were on. It was like she's naked, but
not.
Right.
Yeah.
But you can't tell. So we really haven't talked about Emily because we just saw her in the one page. This is a beautiful print, by the way, from Stephanie Mooney.
Yes.
This is like I feel like I want to be aroused by this, but at the same time I feel like I'm wrong if I am.
So what we did too is I guess I don't know if you can scroll up a little bit and go to the update section.
Oh, yes, I can. It's way up here,
All the way up there.
all the way up, and then over.
Yes. So I think it's update 11, maybe.
Little over 2 days. Psycho Gorman Dracula Visions and
Go to update 10.
Red
Okay.
Valkyrie, God Summoner and Sunshine. Oh,
Okay, so if you could bring that up that update, I'd really appreciate that.
yeah. Because if you're talking about the Red Valkyrie, I know.
Yeah, well, that's them. But what we made a goal for ourselves of having a stretch goal for $4,000. Unfortunately, Stephanie, she's a really good friend of ours, and life happens. She's, it affects everybody differently, which kind of put this a little bit in production delay. But we finally got an Emily print that we were having for a stretch goal, but we wanted to honor that for everybody. So we didn't, once we got it, we were already over the $4,000 mark, and we didn't want to make, a $5,000 stretch goal when we had full intentions of doing this at $4,000. So this was just kind of our way of just honoring our own personal commitment behind the scenes.
So this is a print.
Yes.
Everybody who ordered, like I ordered today and I didn't know I was going to get this.
Right. Every physical backer is getting this.
Yeah.
And Horace is there.
Yes.
Yep.
We wanted to make sure that our boy Horace is in there.
So this is a what size print is? I know it says it up here. It must, but
It does not. It's going to be the standard comic book print, a little bit bigger. Just like
I'm
how we
actually starting to like those.
Yeah, they're easy to ship for one because we're able to put everything together that way, which we learned our lesson on the first one a little bit because we had a different size print versus the comic book. So we had to really try to finagle the packaging to make sure nothing got moved around and everything.
Yes. I've got packages right. Critical Blast Logistics has packages right now for comic books and 11x17 prints and the same thing. I'm like, this sucks.
So yeah, I know that it's sometimes easy to overlook the updates whenever people are blasting them out and you back a lot of projects and stuff. But we wanted to talk about it on here. But this was something that we were really passionate about. Stephanie did a great job on this print, and we did want everyone to know that they are getting it.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And I'm glad you guys went on the Red Valkyrie program. I love Shay and everything she does. You've got to tell me who she cosplay as.
We actually put the picture in there.
Yep. It is
Yeah, it's the demon that gets the hand thrown through her face.
Yep.
There you go.
Very cool. Yeah.
And she made the cards. She made the playing cards.
Yeah. Her and Cy were awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
Yeah, very very cool. So glad to see that.
Yep. But yeah, I just want to show that so we can go ahead and go back to the campaign.
Did she tell you? Did she tell you that you needed to make Pocus Hocus patches?
Yes, immediately.
She did. Yep. And we made a note of that. So.
Yep.
You got the design right there. Just go to thestudio.com and say, okay, embroider some patches for me here. Looked like that'd be a 2-inch by 1-inch patch. Be perfect. Anyway, now was that last print also Stephanie Mooney print?
Yeah. So we always want to have Stephanie involved in some way. Just her Emily designs have been just top notch.
Yeah.
So we wanted to definitely utilize that again.
Excellent.
And she's already talked about some stuff she's doing for issue 3, which we obviously can't talk about yet, but you guys are going to be wowed, and we're very excited.
But you can talk about when you plan to launch.
Yeah. So
this is done in a couple hours now.
Yeah. So what we're going to do, we're going to get this comic out. That's our obviously number one priority. So we're looking at, I guess, just a timeline even from between issue 1 and 2. We're hoping to have this campaign go live about February or March. That's when we feel comfortable to launch.
I will be here.
Hey, we'll be here.
Binding contract.
Yeah.
Now I'm a little bit. I saw this the first time. I thought this was cool.
Yep.
I'm a little less. I'm a little more nonplussed about it now. Because now I expect it to say at the top the damned contract.
I know. So what we haven't revealed everything with it yet, but for those who back within the tiers for the soul binding contract, after the campaign's over, we're going to send you a private message and ask you about your interests and your hobbies, so that way Will and I can better tailor a contract for the demons that we know.
Jay, you're right. That was absolutely gorgeous print. And yes, Woody, it was a cute bunny. and I'm sitting here looking at this contract and I'm thinking, how can I spend their money? How can I make Alan Moore spell out more stuff? Because this is a tchotchke. This is a contract. What are you going to do with it? Well, you'll probably look at it, be really cool. You'll probably roll it up, put it in your drawer of cool stuff.
We're hoping that they forget about it, and then years later, family members find it.
Yes.
And like, why did you have a song contract?
That would be awesome.
Yeah. So
But
it's
I'm
just,
thinking-
it was just something fun that we all sat down and thought it'd be just kind of fun to do for those who wanted it.
If it was on a thin little frame, and you had actually burned the words into it so that they went through the paper, and then behind the frame, mounted to the top, one chartreuse green LED that's activated by a button press, and your words just go whoosh.
Oh, wow.
That'd be cool.
That would be cool. Yeah.
Yeah, we have some plans with that we're already working on for those who already do have the soul contracts.
There you go. Okay.
Yep. So yeah, we're excited. We're very excited.
I think of things to pull off. Like, what because we've seen it all. We've seen T-shirts, hats, trading cards, patches, stickers. You don't have stickers. I would definitely put a sticker on my.
Oh yeah, so and that's the thing with every campaign. It's a learning experience, right? So we definitely, especially with your feedback and what Shay has talked about, and just what we've heard from other people, what they would like to see, we're definitely going to be able to better tailor a issue 3 campaign that's going to have a lot more variety. So
Yeah.
this is the kind of stuff you need.
With second issue, second issue still too soon to be worried about that kind of stuff anyway, because I've seen so many campaigns where they're like, hey, look, here's my original character. No pages of art we got to cover, but you can get a T-shirt, a hat, a motorcycle jacket,
Yeah.
a cardigan, just all kinds of things. It's like, dude, nobody knows your character. Nobody loves your character as much as you do right now. Third issue, fourth issue, that's when people are going to say, if you come back for the third issue, you're already in a position where like, yeah, I'd like to,
Right.
show my appreciation and love for this character by,
Right.
branding their name on my body in some fashion.
So then we have our magic trick video, which is for those who back, certain tiers. Will and I are going to use our theatrical skills, like you've seen at the top of the show, to really special make a magic video for you as really our appreciation.
Now, speaking of that video, you guys actually do a very good job in that.
I can't take any credit for this. This is a conversation for you and Will now.
Well, I mean, do you guys do any kind of community theater or something? Because you play off each other very well.
We don't do community theater, or this is the first time we've ever done anything like that, together as a team. I have a background in theater, so I mean, I actually have a degree in it, and I'm a filmmaker. So a lot of it is kind of applying that, and the with the case of the issue for this, or excuse me, the video for this campaign, writing skills came out a lot in that. So it was kind of it was tailored to have that effect. So.
A lot of filmmakers like to go into comic books. I'm just wondering, did they have like a really great teacher for the storyboarding class where you're like, this is where I want to stop. I'm just going to do it right here.
Yeah, I think. Well, I mean, they're both visual mediums, and I mean, I have heard before, and I do 100% understand this. Like, I've heard never go to I guess like an illustrator. Especially if you're not willing to pay that illustrator or work with them in a professional context and be like, hey, I have this script for a movie. I think it would make a great graphic novel or a great comic book, because they're just such different mediums. And I understand that, and I do respect that. The cool thing about Pocus Hocus, I think, is that it was always intended to be a comic book. So it could be translated to like a TV show or, a film or play or something. But first and foremost, it is a comic book, and we designed it like that, for fans of comic books and people who want to read a comic.
Yeah, and I'm going to give a big shout out to Will here. Without him, and this guy, without him, how he did our script, I such detailed notes, able to give it to Brian and Jason and Dave. Yeah, kudos to Will.
Oh,
so
well,
his
thank
theater
you.
background definitely came in handy.
Thanks.
With that.
It's a great comic. I would love to see it serialized on something like Netflix, where they.
So would we.
We would too. Yeah. Originally when we were talking about it, we were like, man, this might make for like a cool, Adult Swim cartoon or something someday. But now it's at the point where it's like the story is kind of taking on its own. It's becoming a little bit more in depth. So I mean, I think that something like Netflix or something bigger would be.
It's too good of a story to allow Adult Swim to Cartoon Network it.
Yeah.
I was like, I will hunt you guys down if I see an advertisement on Cartoon Network that says, "Hey, it's Hocus Hocus," and suddenly you get this round jelly bean head with a bean mouth.
Yeah.
we just see RG. He even gets up from a live interview when he sees it and just starts running like Forrest Gump.
It's like, excuse me, I've got to make a phone call.
Yeah.
Yes. You can get other books in this campaign too, by the way. It's not all. Would you keep it animated? That's what Jay's asking in the chat. I would definitely.
Yeah, I think so. I mean, we've joked around with some ideas that we were asked one time, if it was made into a live action movie, who would direct it, who would play Pocus, et cetera, et cetera. But I think that animation for it would be gorgeous.
Yeah, it'd be so much fun.
And I love anime. Well, I mean, we both love animation. I love stop motion.
Yeah, too.
But I think for this, even just like traditional animation or computer animation, I think would be incredible.
Yeah, I would love to see that.
With all the bad bug stuff here, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Mike really did this on Midnight Highway too, and we got some exposure from that. And I think it's also a good way to give more variety to people too, if they're also looking for something else.
Yeah, and we've had Midnight Highway on the show before here, and that was also another good book. So you guys are in good company. So yeah, if they were promoting your book on their campaign, you're promoting theirs on yours. That's how that's how an imprint works, folks. You have those in-house ads.
Interesting.
Yeah, we'll start campaigning for that now.
Yeah, he's going to be looking for work soon. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, we talked about when designing Pocus that we kind of had, or I kind of had this image in my head of Richard E. Grant from Withnell and I. But I think with all due respect to Richard E. Grant, because he's an incredible actor, might be a little bit too old to play Pocus now. But definitely was inspired by some early Richard E. Grant stuff. So
I've been I was gonna say there's a guy on the Nevers, which is my current. I've got to finish writing the review for this tonight. Which, by the way, if you haven't seen it, it's fairly good. It's X-Men in the Victorian era. That's
okay.
Oh, that's cool.
That's the encapsulation of it. But there's a character on there who's kind of would make a good young Hocus. He's got the look to it. He's kind of got the shyness, but he's an actor, so I'm sure he could turn it around and be like this if he needed to.
Yeah. Nice. Okay, we'll have to check that out.
Definitely.
Yeah.
Undercity Tales also part of this. Did we not just look at the tiers? Okay, well here's the tiers.
We went to the tiers on the first episode, but yeah, like this is just a way for you to be able to visualize the tiers instead of scrolling through and just reading the text. We think it just kind of reads a little bit better this way.
Yeah. I like the names for them. Shazam and then Shazam variant. Abracadabra is the tier to start with, folks. This is the you get both books in PDF and physical. How far is the book done along? I mean, because is it like the PDFs are going to go out as soon as the campaign's over?
So the PDFs will probably go out, I want to say, middle November.
Okay.
Yeah, we're getting very close to the book being done.
Yeah, it's almost there.
Yeah.
Because a lot of campaigns are like, hey, the book's done. We're just trying to get it to the printer. But PDFs will go out the night of, and
yeah, we definitely. I mean, obviously, in a perfect world, but things slow down production for a little bit. But everyone is working very fast to try to get this thing done as soon as the campaign was going to end. So we are very, very, very close to being finished with issue 2.
I've got 2 big campaigns that I've got the prints and I've got the cards and the stickers and everything for this,
But not the book.
but not the book.
No.
Because the printer has held things up. There's a paper shortage.
Oh, no.
Paper.
Yeah, there's a paper shortage of indie comics because of COVID really brought out the indie creators and a lot of people, and they were home writing, and then now it's hard to find paper.
Yeah. I was like, the trees didn't go back to work once the restrictions were lifted. But so yeah, a lot of people are waiting for. They're like, putting updates. I was like, we've done everything we can. It's at the printer, guys. Really, chop down trees, eat your lunch, and go to the lavatory. No, that's really deep cut now. Lots of tiers, different versions of the books. Look through it. Pick the one that's good for you. Pick the biggest one you can get, because like Jay said, people are going to be talking about this book, and you never know when you're getting that next Spider-Man 300 or Action Comics #1. When people are when you're going to see Pocus Hocus the movie and they're like, "Ooh, you have one of those original the ones they did on the crowdfunder? Yeah, that was the limited print run one. Yeah."
Man, that's surreal.
I'm not saying you could put your children through Oxford on Pocus Hocus #1,
but we're banking on it.
Yeah,
exactly.
We're
Could be the best investment you ever made.
Now, one thing I do want to say is, and I know I speak for Will with this too, just thank you to everybody.
Yeah, thank you.
I mean, we talked about this whenever we were setting everything up, but issue 1, we were so happy with it and so happy with, the success of it, but it doesn't hold a candle to issue 2. Issue 1 made $2,380 and we had 72 backers. So we have more than doubled that on both ends, on backers and with the money that was pledged. So I get emotional whenever I talk about it because, we put a lot of ourselves into the comic, and it's just great to see the reception and the feedback.
Yeah, absolutely.
Wait till you see what happens with #3.
I don't even want to think about it.
Yeah.
Because I'll start crying right here. If it's anything like the reception from 2 that we've seen.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
you've done a second issue, you deliver. I could pull up a spreadsheet because I'm a numbers geek. I'm a database guy. It's my professional job. So I slice data for data scientists to do analysis on. But I do things for my own boredom. Edification, I mean. And I went through and I looked at several different crowdfunders on both platforms, specifically looking for books that were ongoing titles. Not, hey, I did a graphic novel, then I did a completely different graphic novel, then I did a graphic novel. I was looking for ongoing books. And I was looking through what happens if you get more than 2 books of the same series and you're delivering on time or you're not delivering on time, what's it do? And the ones that are delivering on time and keep doing it, they're growing. Every single issue, they're not taking off like a VTOL engine, but they're picking somebody up every single time, and it's continuing on an uphill pace. I talk all the time on this show about Miskatonic High, which is on Kickstarter. It's up to 13 issues. They deliver an issue every 3 months.
wow.
And they've got like about 500 backers, 600 backers, maybe 800 backers, but they started with 2. And it went just from like 2 to 225 to 250, but it's consistently going up. You're going to see that. You're going to see that with #3. I don't know how long Pocus's story is.
We have it mapped out for at least 6 to 7 already.
It could easily be an ongoing.
Yeah, well, that's the thing we talked about too. As long as people keep reading, we want to keep writing because before anything else, this is a passion project. Mm-hmm. So before it's a comic book, this is something that we absolutely love and believe in.
Right.
Yeah. Well, obviously 150 people also believe in it tonight. I want to say 151 believe in it, and it just didn't update. But well, we do know that Jay changed his pledge, so that didn't change the number of backers. But hopefully, I didn't keep track of the number of dollars, but I'm sure it upped it some. Folks, there's 23 hours left to go on this thing. If you're watching this on the replay later tonight, do hit the link right below. It's also pinned up in the chat if the chat is replaying. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. I'm a boomer. I don't know how I make it happen. It just either happens or it doesn't. But this is I can't find my mouse. This is a book to watch. This is a book that people are going to be talking about. Get in on it now. And I'm not saying get in on it now for the jokey investment property kind of thing, but this is going to be the kind of thing that it could be. Hey, that black and white book about the turtles that these kids put out of their garage, that everybody started talking about. You could have that kind of a thing going here. So get the book, sign the contract.
Yeah,
that contract, the one.
But you know what I mean.
Or that contract too.
Yeah, either one. You get the book either way.
Yeah, we're big believers in live and let live. So just whatever.
And I want to say this on a bit of a personal note here before we sign off here. I cannot believe we've been here for an hour and a half.
Holy crap, we have.
You guys are an absolute delight to talk with.
Thank you, man. We appreciate it.
I've had the occasional interviews like where's my pliers? I need that tooth. Come on, give me some more.
Give me something, anything.
Yeah.
But this is just, it's been a conversation flow from beginning to end. The chat's been engaged with you guys. So thanks for coming on. I'm almost sorry to see this campaign go because it means it's going to be a while before I get you guys back on to talk about Hocus number 3.
Well, when we will definitely be back.
Oh yeah. It'll be here before you know.
Yeah, we can't wait. As soon as we finished the script for 3, we were immediately like, I can't wait for issue 2 to be over with and finished and done because we are just getting started. So everyone hang on to your top hats.
I'm really interested to see what happens with issue 3 and the reception behind issue 3 because we really, when we set out and started writing this, we discussed like, okay, we're going to have an exposition issue and then we need to keep that entertaining because we want people to stick around because it just progressively, the way the story is laid out, it just progressively gets better and better and more fantastical in a lot of ways. Yeah. So I'm really interested to see how people will respond to issue 3 because it's a roller coaster. Yeah, so, it really is.
Yeah. So issue 1, it was our origin story of Pocus. Issue 2 is our main conflict. And then everything on is just driving that story forward.
Yeah, it gets really interesting. Yeah. So stick around.
How many issues in do you think you get before you hit that? Okay, here's a good break point for a trade.
I think we talked about our first arc will be done probably about issue 7.
Mm-hmm. So we trade.
Yeah. So we thought that just having the first arc of Pocus in a big trade would just be awesome. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Okay, so because when you get to the trade, I was going to suggest do the Kickstarter and then bring it over to those Indiegogo people. They buy a lot of comics too. Might be kind of not that you can't do it, but it might be a little weird going to Indiegogo with number 3 after Kickstarter because like number 3, where's 1 and 2?
Right.
Backup catch up tiers anyway there, but yeah, go get the money. It's another audience, and even if you only get one backer,
Right. We've talked about that too with when making that transition, and all of it is definitely in the works for future issues. And
I'm not saying switch over. I'm saying
we're going to what they call it's an in demand on Indiegogo. So we were
you can do that's the thing is that and I know there's people who are religiously one or the other for whatever reason. I think they both have their platforms. Kickstarter is great for apparently the Bad Girl books. They sell very well to that audience. But Indiegogo's got that in demand where it's like not only do they take your money right away, so you don't have to account for it later in the month, but they've got the in demand. You don't have people refunding right after you've hit your goals. Like, we made goal, we lost it. We made it again. There's not that going on. Kickstarter is going to have to come up with an in demand at some point, just to keep up with that particular aspect. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. Guys, thank you so much for making the magic happen tonight.
Oh, absolutely. Thank you.
Yeah, appreciate
Thanks
you
for having us back.
Yeah, we kind of question your sanity for wanting to have us on twice.
You wouldn't be the first. Folks in the chat, appreciate you all being here tonight. We don't have a show without you being here. Please do share the video, get the guys out in front of more eyeballs. This thing's only got a couple hours left to go. And as always, while you were here, we just hope you had a blast.